guys, welcome back to T.I.Studios. I'm your host, Ben. Today we're going to be doing the review for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 3 called The Cell. This episode was another bottle episode. It focused on Daryl, who was taken by the Saviors after the premiere episode, as Negan wanted to make Daryl one of his soldiers. He saw how badass Daryl was, how much balls Daryl had, but he wanted to break him and make him his own, and possibly become one of his other right-hand men like Simon and Dwight. This episode started with a little "Who's the Boss?" watching by Dwight while he made a sandwich for himself, and then after he ate that sandwich, he made a sandwich for Daryl, which was made of dog food. Daryl was naked. He's chopped it up. Obviously hadn't eaten for a while, and Daryl looked pretty shitty. We got to see Dwight's wife in the doctor's office taking a pregnancy test, and she was not pregnant. And Dwight said maybe next time. Dwight's now somewhat ex-wife was with Negan, and we'll get to that down the road with that, how that came about. But so then we see they end up leaving the door unlocked. Dwight Daryl escapes for a moment, but it was a setup. They were testing to see how broken or not broken he was. You know, we hear the famous whistle from Negan, letting him know he's got Lucille with him, and the group surrounds him, and he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Negan." Puts in another guy, says, "I'm Negan." Then all the guys in the circle say, "I'm Negan," and that's what he's trying to get Daryl to say. He wants Daryl to say, "I'm Negan." "I'm Negan" means that you are basically just an extension of Negan. I think a lot of people are getting with the point of that, is he wants to break to the point where you are basically just an extension of him. So he finally asks Daryl who Daryl is. Daryl doesn't respond. He goes to hit Daryl with the bat. He pulls it up at the last second. Daryl doesn't even flinch, and he's like, you're a badass. Didn't even flinch. I respect that, but Lucille doesn't. That offends her. Blah blah blah, and you know he makes the joke about being thirsty, but lucky for him, lucky for Daryl, it's not Lucille thirsty. It's just Negan thirsty, and he's got to go get a drink. The guys then on the attack and punch down Daryl and beat him down. That's his punishment. Then he's put back in the cell. Dwight keeps telling him that he's going to say it or he's going to die, basically. One way or another, he's going to work for Negan. There was I don't know why, probably it's been about a month, but there was a guy that had been a savior. He escaped. Negan, after taunting Dwight with his ex-wife, he sends Dwight to go catch this guy. Dwight catches him, and he ends up killing the guy because the guy's like, "I'd rather die than keep doing what we're doing." And Dwight is just like, "No, you're going to go back. I'll do all these terrible things to you if you don't." And the guy's like, "Fine, you win. I'll go back." And you see Dwight has a heart in the way he gives the guy. Shows remorse, and he does put the guy out of his misery, and he shoots him, and he shoots him in the back. A lot of people don't get that, but the point is, Negan would have asked where the guy was. He couldn't shoot him in the head. There's a lot of people that aren't getting that. He could not have shot him in the head without Negan punishing Dwight. He had to shoot him in the back, so Negan didn't punish him, because Negan needed to see this guy back. Working for him, which meant he was now a walker at the front of the building, helping guard the building. So in Negan's eyes, one way or another, you're going to work for him, whether it's out front, or it's working for points, or it's being one of his right-hand guys like Simon and Dwight and Fat Joey and a couple others. So that was the point of that part. So then he has Dwight bring Daryl into a really nice room. He's like, "This could all be yours." all you got to do is say one thing, and we all know what that is. It's just Daryl's got to say, "I'm Negan." Well, he tells the story of what happened to Dwight, and what happened to Dwight. If you remember from season 6, Dwight was with his wife and his wife's sister, so his sister-in-law Tina and Sherry, and Tina died. If you remember, right in front of Daryl, Sherry, and Dwight. Well, apparently, after they took the bike and left, they went and let Daryl go. They went back to the sanctuary and pleaded for forgiveness because they saw that Negan wasn't going to stop until they were back. And so then Sherry, his wife, said Tina was going to marry Negan, but Tina died. So Sherry volunteered to take her sister's place if he didn't kill Dwight. He agreed, but Dwight had to be punished, and Dwight had to fire up an iron and get burned in the face, and that's what happened to Dwight's face. But you got to think about that. Negan also took his wife, and Negan, as we've seen throughout the series so far in this season, which I'll get to in later episodes as well, he likes to throw that in the face of Dwight. I won't get too into Dwight right now, but I'll say there's more to Dwight. In the further episodes, I will. The further reviews, I'll talk more about Dwight where it's more relevant. But right now, that's a good place to stop. And Daryl, when Negan says, "Who are you?" Daryl doesn't respond. And he gets closer. He's like, maybe he didn't hear me, blah, blah, blah. "Who are you?" And Daryl just pauses for just a second, looks up at Negan, and he says, "I'm Daryl." Or I think he just says Daryl. Daryl. And Dwight's like getting ready to say, "Hey, no, you got to say it." And Negan cuts him off. He's like, "No, that's cool, D. If he wants to give a stupid ass answer, he's going to have to deal with the consequences." And they put him back in the cell. And Dwight, he yells at Daryl for a minute about what he's going to say or else he'll die. And then Daryl says, "I get why you did it. It was for someone else." Basically, he's saying, you gave up all your self-respect to save and all your dignity, so your wife and your wife can stay alive and you can stay alive. I get it, but it's exactly why I can't. And when Daryl's talking about now, the second part is, hey, I screwed up, I messed up, and somebody died because of me. I can't, even if it means my life, I can't give in the way you are. I have to fight for these people. If that means I die here, I die here. So it's really cool for Daryl there to put that out there and it to be like that. I applaud Daryl and I applaud the writers for this episode as well. This episode here is also going to get a 3.8 like the last episode, and there were some things that could have been better. I forgot to mention the song "Easy Street" that they tortured Daryl with. So, but it was a really good episode. It doesn't get over the Four Walker yet, so I don't have a Four Walker episode, but it was a damn good episode. So thank you guys for watching this video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below with your thoughts on this episode. What you were wanting to see, what your favorite part was, what your least favorite part was, and all that good stuff. We'll see you guys next time right here on Trending in T.I.Studios. Peace.